First, our top story. What threatened to be yet another crisis in the national carrier Air India now seems to be diffused. This after assurances from the management. 40 pilots who reported sick this morning in protest of their salary arrears not being paid have now called off their strike. But the question remains, is this just a temporary truce?
As Raman reached Delhi airport in the morning to catch the Air India flight to Vijayawada, he was in for a shock. He was to go to meet a friend who was suddenly hospitalized, but after a long wait at the airline counter, he was told the flight was cancelled. But no explanation was given.
2.5 घंटे तक एक ही बंदी है जो वहाँ पर सबको एंटरटेन कर रही है. They should at least organize it. मतलब लोगों को बताएं तो सही. आधा पौना घंटा तो मेरे को वहाँ खड़े रखा. इन्होंने ऐसे भी नहीं बताया कि भाई कैंसिल हो गई मेरी फ्लाइट.
On Saturday, nearly 40 pilots from the erstwhile Indian Airlines reported sick. These pilots say they have not been paid for their flight allowances for the past 5 months. A few passengers' weekend plans were disrupted due to this sudden protest called by the pilots. With Air India's finances in a bad shape, the government says it's trying to resolve the issue of pending pilot allowances that account for 70% of a pilot's salary.
And we are working to resolve this short-term problem, and I hope by end of next week they should be resolved.
Though the pilots' union is officially distancing itself from this protest, some of its members met the Air India chief but did not reveal what transpired. Of late, the loss-making national carrier has seen frequent protests by pilots over pending salaries and allowances. Air India's debt restructuring plan has been approved by the RBI, but several banks have refused to buy stakes in the airlines. And amid all this, it's the passengers who pay the price. With Ketki Angre in New Delhi, Tanima Biswas for NDTV.
So what really are the fundamental differences between the management of Air India and the pilots? Let's just bring you a quick look at the differences. Firstly, the airline says all salaries have been paid. The pilots say, in fact, only 30% of their overall dues have been paid over the last several months. Air India pilots, now these are pilots who primarily fly on international routes, say no flying allowance since September 2011. This is the critical point, since the flying allowance is approximately 70% of their overall pay. Former Indian Airlines pilots say no flying allowance since July 2011. Now, what else does the management say? The management says that, look, if there's a problem, pilots are free to go. Not that easy, say the pilots. Most resignations are not accepted. Medical records are also withheld. Without a medical record, you can't get a job as a pilot in another airline. So therefore, no money to pay salaries is what Air India claims. But the pilots say, hang on a moment, what about foreign pilots? Foreign pilots are always paid on time. And Air India has several foreign pilots even now. And the chairman, who is an IAS officer, continues to get his full salary. So what have the pilots done wrong?
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.